Hello everybody, I'm back with another video for you all today. Today I am here with my grumpy assistant Teasel, who will not come out, to talk about hedgehog diet. I even put a little treat in there to see if we could lure her out, but looks like she wants to stay in there, so that's fine. Hi baby! Okay, so now back to the video. Hedgehog diet. The diet of a hedgehog consists of 4 main things. The first one is a high quality pellet, as you see here, that is fed once a day. Next, water, which I have in a water bottle, which should be available at all times. The third is insects, as hedgehogs are insectivores and not rodents as many people think, so they need some sort of insect in their diet. And the fourth one, which she has in there, is a veggie. So the fourth is fruits or vegetables, which should be given every once in a while as a treat to complement their diet. Okay, so I've moved the hedgehog to the side so I can actually focus on this a bit better and make the video better. So first let's start talking about the pellets. Just because you go to the pet store and see something called hedgehog food, it doesn't mean that it's good for your hedgehog. It is extremely important that you read the food labels before you buy food for your hedgehog, since many of them contain lots of junk that is very bad and sometimes even poisonous to your hedgehog. So a few things that you should look for in your hedgehog food. The first is that hedgehogs need a diet that is very high in protein and low in fat. So you need to look at the percentages on the back of the food and check out the percentage of fat and protein. As you can see over here, there we go. You have to make sure that the percentage of protein is between 25 and 35% and that the fat is less than 15%. A hedgehog's diet needs to be low in fat because they are very prone to fatty liver disease, which occurs when the fat starts building up in the liver because the hedgehog is consuming more fat than its liver can process. Eventually, this can cause liver failure and death, so it's extremely important that you check out these percentages over here. The second thing that you want to look out for in hedgehog foods is byproducts. You want to look at the ingredients and make sure that it has absolutely no byproducts in it. If we look over here, let's see if this focuses. There we go. When you look at the ingredients, you want to make sure that it has a superior source of protein as the first few ingredients, such as a whole fresh meat, like chicken for example, or a second option is a single source meat meal, such as this one, which has chicken meal, as you can see over here. The nutritional value of byproducts is just extremely questionable, and byproducts have been linked to cancers, which hedgehogs are very prone to already, so you want to make sure that you're not adding anything into their diet that increases their chances of getting cancer, because they're extremely prone to it already, and lots of them die from cancer. The third thing that you want to look out for in hedgehog foods are colored bits, nuts and seeds, dried fruits. You have to make sure that your hedgehog food has absolutely none of those. Just make sure that it's a normal plain pellet, like this one that you see here, because the rest is just junk food and isn't good for your hedgehog at all. Some even contain raisins, which I've seen actually foods and treats contain raisins, which are poisonous to your hedgehog, so make sure to stay clear from those. Your hedgehog isn't going to die immediately if you give them a raisin, but raisins are linked to renal failure, so you want to absolutely stay clear from those. And if you do feed raisins to your hedgehog, just stop feeding it to them, because it's just really bad for them. The fourth thing that you want to look out for in hedgehog foods are sweeteners. You want to make sure that it has absolutely no sweeteners such as sucrose or corn syrup, which are very fatty and absolutely not healthy for your hedgehog. I personally like to feed my hedgehog Spike's Delight. So those were 4 things that I mentioned that you should look out for in your hedgehog food. I like feeding this one, which has 32% protein and less than 12% fat, which are pretty good percentages. And as you can see, it has no colored bits or junk food in it, which is really good. I also like about it that it has no artificial preservatives in it, which is a plus. Because these have been linked to cancers, kidney disease, liver disease, and all sorts of other terrible stuff, which is really bad for your hedgehog. So the fact that it has no artificial preservatives is a plus. Since it has no preservatives, you have to store it in the fridge. I store it in the fridge in this little bag that it comes in, or in a plastic container, and it can last up to 6 months. And if you store it in the freezer, if you're buying bulks of it and storing it, it can last up to 2 years. Okay, so instead of feeding a high quality hedgehog pellet, a lot of people prefer to feed a high quality pellet cat food, which is fine as well, since it has all the stuff they need. I think the most recommended one is chicken soup for the cat lover's soul. I personally haven't tried it, so I can't recommend it, but I've heard that's the one that breeders use the most when they give them pellet cat foods. But whichever cat food you pick, just make sure that it has less than 35% protein and, between 25 and 35% protein and less than 15% fat. Usually the diet cat foods are the ones that will have these percentages that I just mentioned of protein and fat. Okay, so instead of just feeding a high quality hedgehog pellet or a high quality cat food, some people do a mix of both hedgehog food and a high quality cat food, so that they can get the best of both formulas. I personally feel that there's no perfect hedgehog food out there. Even this one, it isn't perfect. I always find something wrong with each one of them. With this one, I just don't like that it has lots of ground corn, which is kind of a filler. And with cat foods, I usually find that they have too much fat in it, or they have lots of artificial preservatives. So there's no perfect one out there. It depends on the owner, which one they choose and which one they think would be best for their hedgehog. But so far I'm satisfied with this one. I mean, my hedgehog seems to like it and active and healthy, so that's why I haven't bothered in changing it. So remember, whether you choose to feed your hedgehog a high quality cat food or a high quality hedgehog food, just make sure that you read the labels for the fat and protein percentages as well as the ingredients. Okay, so now we'll move on to talk about insects. Hedgehogs are not rodents. They are actually insectivores and therefore need some sort of insect in their diet. Some recommended insects that you can feed your hedgehogs are silkworms, which are these right here, dried crickets, or live crickets, whichever one, which are these I have right here, mealworms, which are the most common one that people feed their hedgehogs, and some people like to feed waxworms as well, but I don't have any waxworms right now. They can be either live or dried, like the ones I have. Just make sure that you don't feed insects from your backyard, as they can contain parasites and other chemicals that you're unaware of. And also, do not feed superworms, as they can bite your hedgehog in the mouth. Even though hedgehogs do need an insect in their diet, you cannot feed insects to them every day because they're very fattening. I feed my hedgehog insects every other day, which would be 3 to 4 times a week. I just take a little pinch and put it in her bowl. A pinch of mealworms would be about 3 to 5 mealworms, and crickets I just give her 3, since they're a bit bigger than the mealworms. And the silkworms she absolutely does not care for, so I just don't feed her silkworms at all because she doesn't like them. The third thing important in their diet is water, obviously, which should be available at all times. I like to use a water bottle because it stays cleaner. Hedgehogs have a tendency to flip their bowl or walk in it or get shavings in it, so I just prefer to use a water bottle since it keeps it a lot cleaner and I don't have to worry about changing it multiple times a day because she runs through it or puts shavings in it or whatever. And the fourth thing important in their diet, which you can see in there, is fruits or veggies. She has a little bit of veg in there. Some people say that it's important to have fruits and veggies in their diet. Some people don't. My vet told me that I should give her fruits and veggies, so I follow her instructions. Some hedgehogs actually don't like fruits or vegetables, so it depends. They can be pretty picky. Mine has not refused a single fruit or vegetable that I've given her, which is really odd because a lot of them don't seem to really be fans. I give her veggies as a little treat every other night. When I don't give her mealworms or insects, I give her a veggie. And there are, as with all pets, there are some fruits and veggies that you never want to feed your hedgehog because they're poisonous or just are not safe for them. I have a list here. Some of them are avocado. Some people feel it's safe and others don't. I just don't feed it to be safe. Grapes. Grapes are a big no-no for lots of small animals. And hedgehogs are linked to renal, liver, and organ failure. So do not feed grapes or raisins, which are basically dried grapes for that reason. No onions, no mushrooms, no garlic, anything spicy like that is bad for them. No nuts or seeds, as they're a choking hazard for them. No chocolate or caffeinated foods and drinks. Essentially any junk food that you would eat as a human, don't feed it to them because it's bad for them. No raw meat. If you give them eggs, which you can give it to them cooked. Don't ever give it to them raw because of salmonella. You never know. No processed meats, obviously like hot dogs or deli meats or stuff like that. And no milk, as hedgehogs are lactose intolerant. And I think that's it, what I have for today. If you have any specific questions about hedgehog diet, please let me know and I would be glad to address them and answer you either in a video or by a message on YouTube. I have a website. I think it's made by Laura Ledette, I think. I'll link it in the down bar. It has a link to the analysis, the protein analysis and the fat analysis of lots of different brands of hedgehog foods. I'll put it in the down bar so you can take a look at it and see what's in all those different hedgehog foods and which one you think would be best for your hedgehog. She also has the list of ingredients for all those foods, which is absolutely fabulous. And that's how I actually decided on feeding my hedgehog spiked leg hedgehog food after looking at all those foods and seeing what was in each one of them and which ones were bad and which ones were good. So I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the down bar so you can take a look at it. So yeah, I think that is all for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope this wasn't too boring, which it probably was, since Miss Grumpy Pants here decided not to come out, not even try or treat. But thanks for watching, and again, if you have any questions, please let me know, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.